Good morning, Homestead family. Today is a pretty exciting day in the garden. There are so many things new that has changed just from last week's garden tour. And I'm going to share with you today some things that are going right and some things that I won't be doing again. So I guess the biggest change that's happened since last week is we finally got our last raised bed built and filled, and all those sweet potato slips that I've been nurturing the last few months from the sweet potato in the jar of water, and then taking the slips off and rooting them. All these are planted in this bed, and I'm really excited about being able to get sweet potatoes from that. Mr. Homestead always likes to come out to the garden first thing in the morning, and one of the things he said to me this morning was, you need to see this pumpkins and see what they're doing. The leaves are getting so big. So here's the growth on the pumpkins, and look at these leaves. I just love the variegation in these leaves. But there's the one in particular that he was talking about that's getting so big, and this whole bed is just doing great, thriving. Our watermelons are coming along, as you can see, and even some of them are starting to run a little bit now, starting to run along the ground a little. Look at those sweet vines, those sweet runners. I think it's so cool to see. I love coming out here to see it's almost like something new every morning when I come out. Look at that. The marigolds in this pot and over here in that pot are doing great. And if you recall from a previous video how I struggle getting marigolds to grow, so I got me some Gerber daisies and planted here, because Gerber daisies are like my favorite flower, I think. And then I got some more. There were a few marigolds left in this one, so I just added the Gerbers to it. Now, originally I added the marigolds. If you know some from my previous videos, I added the marigolds. Sorry, the sun is like really bright this morning. I added the marigolds for pest control, because a lot of pests don't like the smell of the marigolds. But also from another video, if you'll recall, these Gerber daisies were on sale, so I just couldn't resist, and they are bringing in the pollinators. I have seen in the garden this week, I have seen bees, butterflies, and I even still saw some ladybugs yesterday. And so we've got quite a few pollinators coming along in the garden. The tomatoes are doing great. I think every single tomato plant has at least a couple of tomatoes on it. And our onions, look at the growth on these onions since I topped them last. They're all doing amazing. But these are the jet stars on front and back of this bed. And these are the beefsteak tomatoes on this side. And then we have Roma tomatoes on this side. Look at these bunches of Romas. We're just really excited about all these. So my bed of carrots is probably the most neglected bed. It really needs weeding, and I need to thin out the carrots, and that's probably going to be on my to-do list for this week, is to get in here and weed this bed, thin out the carrots that I've got growing. And then the other half, if you remember, had the stray lettuce, leftover lettuce from the fall garden. But look at these pretty flowers on the lettuce. So I've left this to let it go to seed so I can replant lettuce. But I do have this empty section here where more carrots and onions will be planted. But that way they'll be in succession to these carrots. So once all these are harvested, we'll still have more carrots coming. And I may even come back and plant this again after I've harvested it, just so I can have a good succession planting of carrots and just keep the carrots coming as long as I'm able to do that throughout the seasons. Here in Florida, we're in zone 9B. It gets hot early in the summer here, and a lot of people have made comments about how early we're seeing fruit on the plants and that sort of thing. But in the same aspect, July and August get so hot in Florida that it's almost unbearable to even be out in the garden. So we don't do a lot of work during those summer months because the heat is just, you have to get out here early in the morning or you're out here late in the evenings, but you don't touch this garden in the middle of the day or it's just hot. We're starting to notice these are starting to die off. I don't think it'll be long before we harvest these potatoes in the bucket, the first 2 buckets. So stay tuned for further videos, because we'll make a video when we get the potatoes out of here and show you what we get. So here's the mystery pepper plants, and you've probably heard me say this group of 8. I don't know what they are, but they're different plants from this group of 8. And so I think we finally have an answer. Can you see the banana peppers? There's more right there. Banana peppers are this group of 8. And over here, I just saw, yeah, right there. You see that little pepper? Jalapenos. So these are our jalapenos. These are our banana peppers. And even down here, look at all the sweet peppers that we have here. And I'm leaving these on the plant because these are supposed to turn like red and orange and yellow. And we have quite a few bell peppers. Looks like I have a couple down there at the end that I need to pick. I've taken my tomato cages, turned them over, because the way tomato cages are built, I don't know, the stability is just not great when you put them the other way. So what I've done is turned them upside down, and I've taken ground cover stakes and put them to keep them from turning over or whatever. And that's how I'm using them for my pepper plants. You guys, look at this sweet nasturtium flower. I'm so excited. Oh, there's another one coming out back there. This is my first year growing nasturtiums, and I'm just so tickled at how well they're doing. The purple hull pea plants are coming along great. These were planted a little bit earlier than these were planted. And I broke down yesterday and bought some more squash plants, because the ones that, these are doing wonderful right down here on this end, but the ones that were affected by the cold, I just felt like, I don't know, I wasn't getting enough growth out of them. So I found these heirloom crookneck squash, and there's one. Planted that. There's another one. So we filled in and planted those yesterday. So we're probably gonna have a crazy full bed of squash now. But we even have, look, there's a couple right there coming on, so we'll be having squash soon. So the one mistake I think I made in the garden this year would be my cucumbers. And if you look at them, they're doing amazing. There's a cucumber there, probably ready to pick. I thought I saw, yeah, there's one on the vine right there, a little one coming along. These are just growing up the trellis nicely. They look, it's lush and green. They're growing great, but here's my mistake. Because that I planted one kind on this side of the trellis, another kind in the middle of the trellis, and then a different kind on this side of the trellis. And because they're so full, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose cucumbers just because I can't find them. You know what I mean? It's so thick in there that it's like an Easter egg hunt trying to find these cucumbers. Actually, the cucumbers are where I saw the ladybug yesterday. So there's lots and lots of flowers, blooms going on, lots and lots of cucumbers. I'm a little concerned also. I know sometimes you can plant plants too close together. They can't get sufficient air circulation around them, and sometimes that will cause things like blight and stuff like that. And I'm a little concerned about later on in the year if aphids get on the cucumbers, that I'll lose everything. But you know, I'm gonna be optimistic. We'll see how it goes. And if it doesn't work well, then that's something that I will do differently next year. So, what mistakes have you ever made in your garden? What are some things that you've done? Comment down below and let me know some of the things that you learned the hard way in your garden. So friends and family, one of the best ways that you can help us in this video adventure and our garden tours and all our homesteading videos is to be sure and like and subscribe and watch more videos. And we thank you so much for all the wonderful people that have supported us so far in this adventure. And tell your friends about it, share with other people, and we will see you next time in the garden. Until then, do your best and let God do the rest. Bye-bye.